Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another wonderful night, another year under our belts for the Foundation that we're extremely excited about, and we're in the direction we're going, we're extremely excited about. My name is Dr. Michael Simon. I have the pleasure of being one of the co-chairs on the board of directors for the Foundation, and I have the pleasure of serving with Dorothy Shepherd, who unfortunately couldn't be here. But Dorothy, having a significant amount of experience in healthcare in our province, in social work in our province, couldn't let the evening go by without making sure that I said, congratulations to all you future doctors, and thank you to all the donors and families and friends who have supported these future doctors on their long journey. So if Dorothy checks on me, will you please tell her that I said that, because she'll be very upset with me. Before we dive into tonight's proceedings, I'd like to share a few thoughts with you related to our mission and vision, the Foundation's mission and vision. As a New Brunswick family physician for over 35 years, I've witnessed firsthand the challenges that both patients and doctors have when trying to navigate our current healthcare system. And they're tough challenges. They're very intimidating on both sides of the fence, or on both sides of the gurney. There are, according to latest statistics, 180,000 plus New Brunswickers who don't have a primary care physicians. So again, some may be in this room, some may be in the same families or friends, but put yourself in those shoes. When you get sick, when a family member gets sick, who do you call? How do you access help? What avenues are open to you? You don't have a family doctor you can call for an acute illness, no trusted health professional to monitor your chronic conditions or refill prescriptions, and no end to the angst you may experience waiting for help when you need it. Over the course of my career, I've tended to a large practice. I've had up to 3,000 patients, and I've been honored to become, for many of them, their trusted friend and advisor. However, as I edge towards retirement, 35 plus years is a long time, I was getting a sort of an unsettling fear in my gut. What was going to happen to my patients? At the same time I was slowing down, I had 3 colleagues who retired and couldn't find anybody. So those patients, unfortunately, no longer have a family doc, and their access to care is somewhat limited, as many of you know. So I wondered about who's going to take care of my patients, who's going to take care of the families I took care of, the newborns, the seniors. I was slowing down over the last couple of years, and yet every day I was being asked to accept new patients. And then why wouldn't I be asked like any other doctor? There are 180,000 people like you out there looking for somebody. So it's an ongoing problem. It wasn't getting any better. Lucky for me, I stayed around long enough, I get a nice young doctor who was willing to come into my practice. He's a West Sider, although I didn't hold that against him, I still took him in. And so he was very eager to start a practice in St. John. And he's been with me for a couple of years, he's learning how it runs, and I feel so much better knowing my patients will not be left orphaned when I decide to take down my shingle. So that's a victory. And should I mention, he's also a successful medical graduate of this foundation. And he received bursaries, and he decided to stay because of those bursaries, and now my patients are being taken care of. So, and just to jump forward, providing timely and quality care is difficult. It's difficult for the physicians. It's difficult for the patients who need care, as I mentioned. And despite increased spending in healthcare in our province, the share of issues that we have had and do have haven't really changed. Most people in this room, as I mentioned, know somebody who's struggling to get care, a family member or a friend. And when you take that demand, which is growing and growing because our population is growing, as we just talked about a little while ago, and then you combine it with the fact that the average age for the doctor in New Brunswick currently is 49 years old. So for the next 10, 15 years, you will have a max exodus. And that means the demand is getting bigger, supply is going to be pinched that much more. that doesn't lead to a favorable outcome. So those are the struggles and the challenges that we face right now. Okay, I've said it. That's the bad news. But we're not here to celebrate bad news. In fact, we're here to celebrate the good news because we have a solution. The foundation has become a wonderful solution to this problem. And we're here to support this group. As I mentioned before, the three amigos who run the foundation. And thanks to them, thanks to the donors, we have been making changes. In fact, since 2010, the Medical Education Foundation has defined a strategy that keeps young doctors practicing in this province. It's resulted in better care for our patients, better access for our patients. Since 2010, we have offered return-to-service bursaries that have kept the graduates here. We've kept them practicing in the province. And I'm talking about world-class medical and allied health professionals putting down roots, serving New Brunswick's medical needs and its population. It's a unique, made-in-New Brunswick model that has been replicated nowhere else in this country and is the best recruiting tool I have ever seen in almost 4 decades. And the numbers, Alyssa will probably talk about it later, the numbers will support that boast on my part. Today we're celebrating a record 166 recipients. That adds up to a staggering $1.4 million in tuition relief. So please help me in thanking the donors and thanking the foundation for 166 bursaries. On the front lines, if you ask me what that translates into, that's 170 years of medical service that the province and the people of the province can tap into. Just imagine those extra hours of care that people can take a piece of. All those orphaned and unattached patients that we get family doctors. I mean, the numbers will keep going up. And this story, as I mentioned, can only be told because of you, the donors and supporters. Otherwise, this place would not exist. The success we're seeing would not happen. In the long run, what you're doing not only saves money because we're keeping people here before they get, treating people before they get sick, but it saves lives. In order to have good medicine, you've got to have enough medicine. If you think about that for a second, it makes sense. So the foundation's working hard to achieve that goal. And I mentioned Dr. Gadet, thank goodness, is one success story that's going to help me and my patients. Oh, I should mention too, the building where I work now contains not only Dr. Gadet, but Dr. Robert Hanlon, Dr. Benjamin Knight, Dr. Taryn O'Neill, all graduates of the foundation, all practicing in St. John, all have their new practices with a cadre or a group of patients in the hundreds and thousands. I'll just finish off by saying this is a unique solution. The foundation is offering something that no other organization in the country has copied or been successful at. We're keeping students here to practice in this province. It's a system that lets everybody win. Our future doctors, our patients, our donors, and our communities. And as you just heard, it means a great deal to existing physicians to know that patients and practices like mine will be in good hands. The number of alumni in this education foundation grow larger every year. And just to the students, not long ago, they were like you. They were working hard to get through the courses, get through their classes, get through their exams. They were under the same pressures and stresses, but now they're the next generation of medical professionals serving the community. And that's only a few years away, not to intimidate you. The success of the foundation is reflected in the retention recruitment numbers that Alyssa will reflect on later. The financial relief generated by donors and patrons has supported future providers for years going forward now. It's our goal in the hopefully not too distant future to be able to give a scholarship to every single medical student that applies, every single one. Can you imagine what that'll do to the list of unattached patients or the difficulty you have trying to get in to see a doctor? It'll turn that right on its head. So I'd like to conclude by, again, thanking everyone for coming, for congratulating all the students on their awards. And I just can't say enough to all the donors. I'm looking at some of them right there for all the work that they've done. So please don't stop, and I hope you enjoy the evening. Thank you.